All right, C1x Road to launch, day 41. Going to be a very quick video. First off, simulator's up. Build only took about an hour and a half to complete yesterday, but we got it up. App's working. I do think I deleted some caches trying to save space, and that was causing issues with the Android build previously because I didn't have enough space. But so in clearing up some of that space, I got rid of the caches, and that made the build a lot longer, which makes sense. Anywho, so we are going to try and very quickly run through a few of these items. So first up was going to be just swapping these two. So on the infographic, I want it to go fairway hits, C2 in regulation, C1 in regulation. That's the order that I think does make more sense. So we're going to try and just do this and then do a refresh and see if that is enough to do the trick. It appears to be. Does that break things over here? It shouldn't, because I'm not showing them on the all stats view, but just to verify. Yeah, so now fairway hits, C2 in regulation, C1 in regulation. On the round summary, we'll just go slight change to order of stats, to order of driving stats on round summary view. All right, so now fairway hits, C2 in regulation, C1 in regulation. And then that way it's the same order that we have down here, just with parked showing as well. But that looks good. Those are swapped, easy enough. All right, now pars are not updating based on scoring. This round scorecard, this is definitely gonna require a little bit of digging here. Long story short, let's say I go to start a round, we'll say the fort. That's an easy example. I'll go to hole 17. So hole 17 at the fort is a par 4. Hole 1 at the fort is a par 3. So let's say on hole 17, we go in the fairway, upshot, inside of the circle, and then in the basket. We're going to notice that I just took a 3 on hole 17, but we can see that the scorecard shows that I took a 3 on hole 1, and my score's still even. It should be 1 under because I just birdied 17, but it's not taking in the correct par. So we're going to do one thing at a time. We're going to start with the score. So here we're going to go search score, current score, and we're going to find out where I'm updating this. All right, so that's where it's starting. Update round score, shot data, hole pars, current hole. So when I update the round score, I am passing current hole and starting hole, importantly enough. Let's go update round score. So I'm only calling this in 3 spots. Fourth item is going to be the function itself. Current hole and starting hole. So here I pass current hole -1, starting hole. Here I just pass current hole because it should be updating anyways, starting hole. This is on the undo button. That's interesting. Let's to test this here. 18's a par 4, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So still showing even. Now I'm going to hit undo. And I wanted to see if that made a difference. It doesn't seem like it is. Okay, so the issue exists with the undo button as well, which means it should just be that function. Current hole, starting hole is always what I'm passing. Hole pars, I'm doing that based off of current hole. Okay. Do I use starting hole at all? I'm not using, so I passed it. I knew I needed to do something with it, but I did not. All right, so how do I account for starting hole here. Shot data. Here's what we're going to do. Print current hole, starting hole, print shot data. All right, give me a reset here. And then we're just going to retry this again. I'm going to use that information as my guideline here. 17. All right, let's make this a little bit bigger so I can see the output. Fairway, C1 in the basket. All right, so current hole is 1. Starting hole is 17. Shot data is always updating from the first item. And then I do reorganize shot data at the end, I believe. Right, handle round finished. Do I ever? I feel like I have a reorder shot data. Here we go. Reorder shot. So I call it once there, and then I call it under round finished. Okay. Makes sense. So anyways, update round score. Let's go back to the function here. Current hole is 1, starting hole is 17, shot data. So it's just accounting for the whole parse. So I need to make this what's the best way to do that? Current hole is 1, starting hole is 17. I do this elsewhere. Actual hole. Where do I pass actual hole here? Is hole over. Initial temp actual hole. So I have an argument called actual hole. I do. And I'm using it all over the place. So maybe we should be taking that as an argument instead. Let's try this. I'm going to go into actual hole. We're going to do that. And then every single one of these, we're going to do actual hole. Because what I'm hoping that I've done is that clearly it's been a while since I implemented that variable, but clearly it's something that I did fully implement. I'm using it throughout the view. And so I'm just going to assume that ideally, both when I'm finishing a hole and when I'm undoing a shot, that I'm updating that value accordingly. It doesn't seem to be causing issues elsewhere in the app. So right now I'm not using it. I'm just updating the call to actual hole so that I can see what that's printing out when I submit and undo. And as long as that's printing out what I think it is, then we're going to use it. Actual hole is 17. Actual hole is 18. How did that happen? Actual hole 1, actual hole is back to 18. That may not be good. Something about the undo button there. Undo last shot. So actual hole is 18. If actual hole is less than 1, I don't know how it ever update round score. Undo last shot, I get a new actual hole. I haven't updated it at that point, which is important actually. That was showing the right value. When I update the round score, I have not updated the new actual hole. So that's important actually. That is what I should be using here. New current hole -1. Actual hole equals new actual hole. Why am I doing that to the current hole? Every time I start to mess with this undo button, I just confuse myself, which is obviously my own doing, but actual hole was 17, current hole was 1, that's that. Let's undo. Actual hole is 17, current hole is 0, undo. That gets me 18. Okay, so ultimately what I was getting at here is that does seem to be working as I would expect it to. A little bit of confusion there with what the actual hole value was, but long story short, I think I can turn this into an actual hole -1. And I think that's all I need to do. I think that should cause the correct par to be used. Because actual hole is going to go from 1 to 18. The whole par index is going to go from 0 to 17, just because the arrays will always start from 0. So that's the reason for the -1 in here. Fairly common, especially when I want the actual hole to actually represent the hole. I don't have to. I could make the actual hole go from 0 to 17, but I want it to represent the real value. Let's undo here. All right, fairway. Perfect. So now it's counting that as a birdie. This is still an issue, but a minor one. Let's do the same thing on 18, which is 2 under. Let's undo. Undo, undo, and undo. Oh. What just happened there? That did not work. All right. So 17 is a 1 down. 18 is a 2 down. Hole 1 is a par 3. So this should be the 3 down. It's going to 1. And I do not understand why. Current hole is 3, actual hole is 1. Then we print the shot data round score plus equal to hole strokes. Shot data hole. Hole is tracking alongside current hole. Shot data hole shot. Else round score hole strokes. Actual hole -1. Print hole pars. Print round score. Let's try and recreate that with a couple more print statements. See what that gets me. All right, start round. We'll go back to 17. The Whole pars match. Round score is 1 under. Okay. 2 under. It is saying 1 under. All right. So current hole is equal to 3. Actual hole is equal to 1. Okay. Whole pars is that. So for all of the holes, we're going through. It's always doing it based off of the current hole par. Okay. That does not work. I don't see the issue. All right. So do I actually need starting hole? I think I do. Dang it. Dang it. Dang it. That's all right. I see the issue now. We should be able to fix this. Round information starting hole. Let's copy this. Starting hole. And starting hole. Okay. Now, we'll include the printout, but I think we can figure this out. So we're going to go here. Var temp starting hole is equal to starting hole. For every hole, we're going to come down here. We're going to go temp starting hole plus plus. And then we're going to do an if temp starting hole is greater than hole pars dot length. Temp starting hole. Let's call this temp actual hole, actually. Temp actual hole. Temp actual hole is equal to 1. And then here I'm going to use temp actual hole. Okay. So I had the structure there to begin with. I think I just was confusing myself in terms of what I was actually doing. This is definitely a step in the right direction, though. This might just fix it off the bat, but so we get 1 under there. Starting hole is 17. All right. Did not work again. Temp actual hole plus plus. So temp actual hole is equal to starting hole. Why was starting hole still equal? I do need the actual hole. That's... Hold on. We're starting with 17. Current hole is equal to 2. Is equal to 17 plus plus. It's equal to 18. Print temp actual hole. I am still confusing myself. Let's try it again. Confirm. That's a 1 down. Temp actual hole is equal to 18. Why is temp actual hole equal to 18? Because I'm doing it, Dylan. Can't do that. I did not think this through. It's got to go after. Okay. So the issue was that 18's a par 4, hole 1's a par 3. It was jumping to hole 1's par before it had a chance to score on 18. So this might be the last fix here. 1 under, 2 under, 3 under. Beautiful. Now let's undo. Three under, 6 under, 8 under. Let's make sure I'm still not introducing any crashes here. I shouldn't be, but so this should be 10. This should be 12, and now we should be to 15, 18. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, so that ended up being a little bit silly, but we fixed that. Took me longer than it should have, but fixed issue where scoring would sometimes use the incorrect par when during rounds where a starting hole other than 1 was selected. Okay. So we fixed the most important issue, and now it's just scorecards. So I threw in on hole 17. I would like for it to show on 17 here. That's my goal. I wonder... No, sorry. Fairway, C1 basket. So I'm 1 under, but it shows the par here. That is an issue. It's an issue either way. Round summary brief. Do I call that here? I do. Round summary brief. Round summary brief. One of these is showing on, yeah. One of these shows on the round finished as well. I am not taking the starting hole even as an argument. Okay. Par is my issue. Am I running this through a for loop? Container, wrap, list, generate. Okay, so this can be my issue here. We need to take in starting hole. So final int starting hole. We'll make it required so I don't miss a spot to call it. Now that's my generated list. Here I need final actual hole. Equal to, no, it's going to pass index. I can come with some convoluted ways to fix this, but I would like a simple approach. list, generate total holes, generator, actual hole. I'm going to just jump to ChatGPT here. Use the below function to produce a round score in C1x. I'm focusing on the use of temp actual. Users are able to select a starting hole other than hole 1 for their rounds. Need to use the correct par. And I do so because the hole pars stay in order from hole 1 and then of course usually hole 18. This code works as I intend it to. My issue is determining how I can do something similar within this code. And then we'll go copy that. Is equal to starting hole. Actual hole is equal to starting hole plus index. If actual hole is greater than total holes, actual hole minus equal to total holes. Hole is 17, index is 3. View is on the third hole, so the actual hole needs, no, this doesn't quite make sense. 5. Fifth hole, so the actual hole needs to be 1, 2, so hole 3. If I use your code though, it becomes actual hole. Oh, no, does this actually work? 22 minus 18 equals 4, right? Oh, the index starts at 0. Divided by total holes. What the starting hole is 17, 16. The index is equal to 0 there. It's starting from 0, so it's going from 0 to 17. So in that first example, is equal to 17 plus 0. And then I would just use actual whole minus 1. Like this might be close, actually. That's ultimately what I'm trying to get at here. So if starting whole is 17, index is 0, actual whole is going to be equal to 17, and then down here I would just need to use actual whole plus 1. Ends up 1 higher. If actual whole 17 index is 2, or starting whole is 17, index is 2, then we're going to get 19. Actual whole would need to be 19 minus 18, which would be 1. I think that actually works. Let's try it. Actual whole minus 1. Does that work? All right, let's pass the arguments at least. Starting whole, round information, dot starting whole. All right, there's one. Where's this guy at? Here we go. There's 2. Let's do a reset and just see where that puts me. It's not going to have it in the right order. I know that. We'll confirm erase. Go back to 17. Oh, okay, so it's showing the pars in the correct order now. Because we're going 14, 15, 16. It's just not showing them on the right whole. Okay. I'm getting shot data passed to me. We're getting user scores here. Let's go print user scores. I didn't need to do a full reset there, but that's okay. We'll do it anyways. On hole 18. User score is equal to 3, 3. That's how I'm doing that. Wow, okay. Excuse me. List generate. If that, da-da-da. Final score. User scores dot length is greater than index is that, otherwise it's a dash. So I'm showing the whole number, I'm showing the par on the score box. Where am I putting that score box together at? I guess highlight over. Round display graphics. And then here, what am I saying? If it's a dash, then we're not showing it. Thought I was. Total holes. Whole pars dot length. Round summary brief. Whole pars dot length. Whole pars dot length. So it's always the total number of holes. scorecard. Container wrap list generate. It's greater than index. User scores index to string dash. Full number text par score and try parse score. Returns a 0. And what happens if this is equal to 0? Equals delta equals 0 if is for non-scorecard. Oh, I'm showing it as transparent. So I'm accounting for it here. Okay, so actually, I want this to just be index. I want this to show, I want them to stay in the same order. Par is equal to index, but down here, score. Can I just fix it down here? So I guess what if I do this and we go for var whole equals 0, whole is less than shot data dot length. And then I do a print user whole scores. Let me see what that gives me. That's kind of what I was expecting. Confirm that that's the case. Showing 3, showing 3. But I'm getting a full, okay. And then up here I have my argument for an actual whole. So I'm going to show the par. I want that to be the par shown. Score here. Score equals. Let's say the user starts on hole 17. They've logged 2 rounds, or 2 holes, which means they are now standing on the T of 1 and filling an array with their hole scores as they go along, starting at index equals 0 and ending at index equals 17. So below array contains their scores on holes 17 and 18. I have a view that is showing all of their scores starting with hole 1, actual hole 1. I need the code to provide the correct index for pulling each hole in order out of my array above, meaning that the first item needs to pull the third item from the above array. The second item needs to pull at index 3, etc. Actual hole minus starting hole plus total holes. Negative 15 plus 18. It's returning the remainder. Are you sure that this item will work for every single hole? Yes, of what? Normal, hole 18, or any hole in between these. Okay. User scores, and then do this. Oh. 0, score is equal to. String. Okay, that might work. So we're going to try and reset this. And get them to show on the right holes. Clearly did not work. Okay. So starting hole is 17. Should I be using actual holder? Or should I be using hole number? Maybe that. Yeah, there we go. So then if I do the same thing on 18, okay, let's undo. Never noticed that. That's a new issue. But it does make sense as to why that's happening. And that's an easy one to fix too. But importantly, this seems to be displaying how I want it to. Let's finish around and make sure that that still works. And it looks like it is. Start round. Let's try this one more time here. It's an eagle and a birdie. Let's do some throw-ins. So I want to finish this and see the eagle and the birdie at the end. Yeah. Let's hit finish. Make sure it is actually showing it that way, which is great. Okay, let's delete. Okay, now on user scores. So if I undo, the way that the round summary works is that it's just pulling in whatever the current shot list is for that hole. If there's only one shot, it's going to show it as an ace, even though the hole isn't completed. So we just have to make it so that little scorecard summary only shows a score if it's been fully completed. So like here I've got the birdie, but let's say I just hit the fairway on hole 18 and then go to my summary, it shows an ace. And the hole's not done, I'm still on 18. And that's related to down here. So scoring options, I have a hole completed options, which is basket and throw in. So here we're going to go and just add a if. Oh. If all labels dot hole completed options contains shot data hole last. Yes. Or no, we can just do this. strokes is equal to 0. Okay, let's do a quick reset on that. I think that should work, but we'll double check here. All right, fairway C1, make sure. Oh, yeah, I was worried I was going to mess something up here. Why would it not work? Hole completed options. I guess what's my error? No element. Shot data hole. For each shot data hole dot link. Shot data hole. Okay. When I print shot data, it's blank sometimes. Okay, so we can go if shot data hole is not empty and I shouldn't really actually need. No, that's fine. We can roll with it. Let's erase again. All right, go back to 17. We'll go to 16 now, just for fun. 16 is a par 3. We'll say in the circle. Good. 17, another birdie. All right, now 18 in the fairway. Not showing. Inside the circle, not showing. In the basket for birdie, now we're showing. Ace. Great. Sick. Let's undo. Undo in the middle of 18, not showing. Perfect. 17. Okay, so we are about to wrap this up now. 17 is good. Back to 16, showing nothing. Okay, all fixed. So, fixed issue we're scoring with sometimes using incorrect par. We did that. Fixed bugs where the scorecard summary displayed during a round would show incorrect scoring and whole numbers. For rounds where a starting hole other than hole 1 was selected. And then fix bug where card summary. We can tack this onto the same item here. Also fixed a bug where this summary would show scores for holes not yet complete. Let's go to our to-do list. Scorecard summary does now account for the starting hole, which is great. And pars are updating. Okay, so real quick, let's erase this, confirm. Now that I have that working, let's go remove our print statements. So we're going to get this code back up and clean for production, meaning pushing to Apple and Google. And here. Okay. Yeah, new build number 2. So now that that's done, the only thing left to address is with Apple, and it's changing that one screenshot. So literally all I'm going to do here is, I think I was using the 6.9 was my sizing. I'm going to do this off video, but I'll go through real quick just to explain what I'm going to do. So some of these screenshots, really only one on this page, has a little debug banner down here. None of these do. So these are all good. But where's my last page? Now I gotta remember what 6.9 display. Did I delete my last hole? It looks like it got replaced with one. Like it's showing the same one twice instead of, okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's folders, C1x, App Store screenshots, this guy. All right, and so these all have the debug banner as well, so you can see it right here. So I just have to update these screenshots just to remove the debug banner, and I have options to use for that. And then I'll update this one down here as well. But otherwise, that is it. Then we'll upload those to the App Store here, just replace the ones that have the debug banners. We'll upload the new build and throw it onto my thing here. And then we'll resubmit to Apple. We already addressed their iPad concern, I think. I'll need to double check that when I upload the new build, that the option for iPad screenshots goes away. We addressed the Bluetooth thing for the watch. So yeah. I think that should all be fixed. We'll get this resubmitted to Apple for review. I've been keeping up on the Android testing. I think I'm at 9 Android testers consistent now, which is more than I had previously, so we're going to hope that that's good enough to meet Google's requirements. I still have 7 days left with Google before they'll even let me apply for production again. But today or tomorrow, I'll get this resubmitted to Apple. That's I have to think I've done this on video before, but that's just going to be me cleaning, rebuilding this project, getting the new file uploaded, and then just dropping it in here, just like we have with all the testing builds. And making progress on getting some custom minis ready for launch. That is underway. Mini discs. What else for C1x? I've been losing a little bit of motivation to do the C1x reports. Deglow's going on this weekend. I haven't done one yet for the first round. I think I'm going to keep going with them, but we'll see. We'll see. I intend to. Is there anything else that I'm missing that I was going to do? Creating some more graphics was going to happen. Mini design, I don't think I'm going to change much beyond what I already have. The bag patch, ongoing. Facebook posts, ongoing. Yeah, so there's some graphic stuff I'll do. If I make them, I'll review them in the next video. But re-download those packages, get those going, remove all that red. And yeah, I think we'll call it there for the video today. I think this is going to be the official launch version now for C1x. We got these minor issues addressed. I think they're done now. We'll get it submitted to Apple. This will, ideally I won't change anything else. This will be the same version that I submit to Google. I'll wait to build out that package until Google actually approves it for production. But yeah, maybe video 41 will be the last one for launch. I'll probably still do one more where I actually release it. So we'll have at least one more, but yeah, we'll call it there for today. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.